What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 114. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911, and today I am joined once again by Jeff, aka Jeffreg. Jeff, how's it going?
Oh, it's December. We're in that point of the year. I know you've never been to Wisconsin. I'm thinking. We're at that point of the year where I'm like sweeping my driveway because there's still snow, but it's not completely. It doesn't melt enough to evaporate.
Yeah.
So I have to broom slush and water out.
Yikes. Yeah, we haven't had that bad of a winter over here in New York. We've had a couple snowfall, but nothing bad. I remember last year we had that 3-foot snowstorm. Hopefully it stays at bay, but we'll see.
We got about 8 inches the other day, but it's nice because the last couple years we haven't had any snow, like going into the holidays, and I'm just like, please let me be able to see like not green or gray green on the ground,
right?
On Christmas.
Yeah, it's nice to have it around for those, but other than that, it's just like, it can be a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can chat over there if you're a subscriber. If you can't catch live, that's A-OK. It drops the following week over on YouTube and podcast services. It's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 on that following Friday. Last but not least, #ad merch store and get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us, and we would love you for it. So it's the end of the year.
On the following Friday, with one giant exception that I was also on for. It was that like.
Oh yeah, when you and Lady kept the extended edition, where I couldn't render out that 3-hour plus video. Yes. Gotta eventually find a workaround for that, but so yes, it is the end of the year, so I thought it would be a fun thing to do a little bit, like everybody is, but talk about video games and the end of the year stuff. So it's open today for topic 1. We're gonna be talking.
Anything's better than everybody's like Spotify playlists.
That's true. What do you mean? You don't want 800 Spotify wrapped up in your Twitter, and you're like, I don't know who any of these are. But yeah, we're going to talk, for topic 1, we're going to talk about the Game Awards. As of recording, they happened last week? Yeah, last week, I think.
A week from 2 days from now. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Last Thursday they happened.
Yeah.
A little timestamp for you. But so just want to talk quickly about the Game Awards. Obviously, they handed out awards pretty quick, but they also have become known for announcing a lot of new games coming up, either in the following year or hopefully soon after. So yeah, Jeff, you did a live stream of it, a little live reacts. How did that go for you? Was that fun to do?
It was fun, yeah. I mean, I have a bad habit of, let's just say it, complaining about shit.
Okay.
Or just doing shit. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of it was, there were some things that I didn't necessarily agree with or things like that. And just the pageantry of award shows and presentations, like no one's here for that. Like I think they even, like, Jeff Keighley actually released a thing like 90% of people come for the announcements, not the awards themselves. It was a lot of fun though. It's always fun to see what the new like the big surprise announcements were. I think last year the surprises were a little bigger and a little better. There was a lot of stuff I was pleased about. I also want to note from last year there was a game that was announced. It was called Road 96 or something like that.
Okay.
I thought it looked really cool, and I had been waiting to hear literally anything about it. And like 2 weeks ago, I found out it got released on Switch back in August.
Oh. All right. Well, hey.
No announcement, no anything. I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That went from like the high of the Game Awards to like, digital release on the Switch.
Right.
Steam sometime in the future. Yeah, it was fun though.
Good. Nice. So, speaking of announcements, were there any announcements that caught your attention from this year's Game Awards?
Yeah, so there were a couple. There was definitely stuff I wanted to hear about. There's stuff I knew I was going to hear about. And there was stuff I was hoping I wouldn't hear about.
Okay.
You know, like everyone was like, oh, you know, you're gonna get Breath of the Wild 2, and I was like, don't give me Breath of the Wild 2. I don't want that. Everyone's waiting for it. We all know it's coming. They're not gonna like. The way they did Breath of the Wild 1 was like they dropped that one trailer, I think at like E3, and it was like a I don't know, it was like 10 minutes or something like that with Miyamoto going over everything.
Right.
And it was really cool. And I don't want like a drip feed for it. I want to see it, and I want a hard date.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad they didn't do that. For the games that were announced, obviously my big one, Alan Wake 2. Super excited. You know how big I am on that.
Right.
Control was one of my favorite games of a couple years ago. They had the Alan Wake DLC. I love that story, that universe, the writing, the acting, the atmosphere. I'm really, really excited about it. I knew it was coming because of the DLC for Control. I didn't, like, in a million years think I was going to see anything on it. But it's one of those things, like, you know, you get, like, 30 seconds in, and you're like, okay, what is this? And then it clicks, and you're like, oh.
Right.
And it makes it so much better when you have that and you're not expecting it. That was a big one for me. Really excited about that. There were some ones that I was completely not expecting. Plague Tale Requiem. I really enjoyed the first Plague Tale, although I really need to replay it because I did it a long time ago and I don't remember much of it. And I was kind of not paying attention when I played it originally because I was mostly concerned about not getting eaten by rats.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun with that game. I remember I need to redo that. I did not think it was going to get... I didn't think it did well enough to get another game, so I'm super excited about that. There was... Let's see... I don't think I'll play it, but that Matrix...
the Unreal 5 thing?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just like a preview for the movie or what. That looked really cool and interesting. It's always... I mean, any chance to see Keanu, you know?
Yeah. So I
was really hoping he'd do the, you know, the your
You're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I was really hoping he'd just do that or reference it somehow.
Mm-hmm. That was really cool. I didn't play it, but I watched someone else go through it. It's like 5 minutes. It's like it goes from cinematic to gameplay, like hops back and forth, showing off the new tech.
It's like a playable trailer.
Yeah. And then afterwards, it's just like an open world, so you can mess around with the physics. You can turn things on and off. You can see how like things will break eventually if, you know, physics were applied on them. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It looks fantastic, but in reality, I'm like, nothing's coming out like this for still a long while. Like, it's cool to see, but ooh.
It's the kind of thing like we can make this game if it's 5 minutes long.
Right.
I think my computer could run it. I'm pretty sure it could, but I haven't checked it out yet. I'm actually weirdly excited about that movie. I don't know why. I could just be like nostalgia and like going back to high school kind of thing. Let me see. There was... I mean, as far as the big announcements, Slitterhead looked really cool.
Okay.
It looked like a weird Japanese horror movie into a game. And it's a horror game, so I'm interested in it. You know, now that I think about it, like the actual announcements, there were a lot, but a lot of them are like not stuff I was super excited about. Oh, I know one. Senua's Saga. I remember getting that 2 years ago. It was the same Game Awards they announced the Series X. And I still haven't played the first game. I played a little bit of it, and it seemed really cool. But I haven't really gotten into it. I just did that one stream.
Yeah.
It seems like a really cool thing, and like the entire trailer, they're fighting a giant, which looks really cool. I'm excited to see that, but that comes with the caveat of I've got to actually beat the first one first.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I do. For my brain,
I understand. I would do the same thing because I remember seeing that initial reveal and I was like, oh, okay, this is really intriguing. I mean, mostly that was a cinematic trailer, and then this one we got the mixture of gameplay.
It was like in-engine,
Yeah, it looks cool. I don't know if that upped my excitement level or brought it down, to be honest. Like, I just didn't know what the gameplay was from the original, so like I don't know, maybe it was just the pretty cinematics.
Yeah,
Like, oh shit.
It's sort of, if you can imagine, sort of a slower, God of War.
Okay.
Like it's over the shoulder, sword based combat with a shield, and some minor dodging, but it's not as frantic.
Okay.
Frantic.
All right.
I don't know. It seemed honestly, with the exception of those two, it seemed like there was kind of we got a Wonder Woman game.
Yeah, that was
it showed nothing.
Right.
And I was like, okay, but you're essentially showing me a preview for like the steelbook cover of a movie release.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. You're just getting shots of her body,
right? Which
is not a great way to present a game about a powerful woman,
right?
Necessarily. I was hoping we would see something about the new Forest game, but they just released a trailer. Another trailer like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, like an actual gameplay one.
Oh.
So I'm not surprised on that.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping we would see something on the next Final Fantasy VII installment.
Yeah, I don't know when that's gonna come out because they still got 16 they're working on too. So it's like
yeah, or that even.
Right. Well, we got Forspoken from them.
Also, I don't have a PS5 yet, and I'm going to have to I'm going to have to replay the entire game on PS5.
Oh, 7.
Because they're going to stop. That game's going to take years. Years to get the whole game out. Mm-hmm. They're going to stop supporting PS4 eventually. Before the whole game.
For sure. I mean, yeah. At least with the PS5 version.
The worst thing to do to the early adopters of the game. Mm-hmm. Here's the first 3/4 of the game. Don't support this console anymore, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least with the PS5 version, you will have the integrate stuff with Yuffie to play through, so that's nice.
Yeah. Among Us VR looked cool.
Right? That was out of nowhere. I was like, oh, shit,
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I've seen games trying to rip off Among Us in VR. I've seen a couple of them on Steam before. Never checked any of them out. They tended to be like, it's Among Us, but it's more realistic, and it's in VR. It's nice to see Among Us turn around and rip off the people who are ripping them off.
Right.
Sonic Frontiers, as an kid who grew up with a Sega Genesis, I'm always kind of excited to see a Sonic game. Mm-hmm. The last 4 generations of consoles, though, they have not managed to figure out a way to do either 2D or 3D Sonic in a way that I'm happy with. It's always too fast that makes it impossible to control, or there's some weird gimmick. Or the only way to make the 2D one work is if you make it full pixel, because the 3D or 3-dimensional 2D games, the controls were always really floaty and weird. I think there was actually on PS3 like Sonic the Hedgehog 4. They released like part 1 and then they just abandoned the whole game. The Sonic movie, though, that looks really cool. I was excited about that. I went to see that with Willow in the theater, and I'm excited to go see the next one.
Nice.
And it's nice to see that they're kind of. It looks like they're following the game where it's like, okay, like Knuckles is tough, right, but he's also an idiot, and Eggman tricked him with like 0 effort.
Right.
So that's really cool. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think.
Well,
we got a little bit of Horizon, right?
Yeah, this year, like you said, the game announcements were kind of like, I don't know, in my opinion as well too. It seemed like they showed off.
There weren't any like big bangers.
Yeah, nothing like punched you in the face like last year, like left us. Not
definitely the Alan Wake announcement was like the biggest surprise. Everything else, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not surprised about that.
Right. I mean, there were some other ones like that Star Wars Eclipse game looked really cool cinematic wise, but like that's Quantic Dream, which I think is Detroit Become Human.
There is the way to take all the air out of the room also in the last 5 seconds of your trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, so like Detroit's great and other games, but like that's not, I don't know, like based on those trailers, that's definitely not what we're getting gameplay wise. Choice A, choice B, whatever.
I mean, I'm into the. Oh, I can't support that. Everything I learned about Quantic Dream, and I just finished streaming a Quantic Dream game. every single thing I learn about them now, every new thing, it's just worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, not great from there.
Yeah. Warhammer too. I was like, you guys are gonna, cause Warhammer. I get the appeal of those games, but I don't know if you know anything about it. There's a really problematic faction of their fan base that takes the whole like human supremacy thing a little bit too far and blends it into real life. Because like the quote unquote good guys of those games, they're not good guys. They're fascists.
Okay.
But people like it because you get to play as a giant space marine with a chainsaw sword.
Right.
So, I was like, it looks fun, but again, like there has been a ton of stuff. Well, not a ton of stuff, but there's been stuff in game press lately about that fandom. And I was like, you're not going to address it at all. And that's the other thing too. Keighley came out right at the beginning with the like, we're inclusive, we want to support everybody. It was obviously the Activision Blizzard stuff.
Yep.
But it was a real just like, we're going to address this without addressing it because we want to keep this business relationship.
Yeah, it was a mixed bag. Like, it was nice that he did that, especially right off the bat. Like, I felt that was important, especially obviously with all the Twitter flack and all that stuff that he got from his original announcement. But like, yeah, it did seem very kind of half-assed or like almost enough.
Like, yeah, it was a PR. Like, somebody in PR wrote that.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, especially just because obviously past experiences where, I mean, even this year too, we're still like, fuck Konami. Like, it was about obviously Kojima first, and now it's still about Silent Hill. We'll get digs in here and there, but like, no, these
though, and this is gonna come into something we talk about later, but like, there's rumors about a new one.
Yeah, which was another thing. So obviously they had the background, on the stage. There's this big snake-looking thing, and I'm like, why is this? This seems out of place. There's got to be something with this. And then they changed it a few times later, and then we got nothing from it. It was like, okay, not that I even care about Metal Gear all that much, but
Yep. Yeah, you never even played any of them. What are you getting worked up about?
No, I just was like, that's...
Brent told you to play that like 3 years ago, and you still
like everything you guys have told me to play. But it just, I'm like, this seems out of place.
I'm still waiting for a way out.
That's, at least you've redeemed your channel points. We have a plan, and it's coming soon. Don't worry. But yeah, it just seemed out of place. Like, here's a fucking snake on the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really it for my, like, the things they announced that I was excited about. Like I said, they showed a little bit of Horizon. I'm excited to be that. Is it coming out on PS4 though? Because I really don't.
Yeah, it's both consoles. February something.
Like, one of our vehicles just imploded, so we just had to buy like a new, like, spend $25,000 on a new vehicle. I'm not getting that console. I'm getting it, but I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble. But there's no way, there's no guarantee, and I got to play the first one still. So.
Yeah, that one is cross-gen, so it's PS4 and PS5 they're making for.
But there was nothing new. It was like, okay, it's gameplay, but this is all gameplay that was in the first game.
Yes and no. There was a lot more.
Really, the only thing
robots.
I remember is her sneaking through the tall grass and then grabbing somebody from behind. It's like, okay, so it's an Assassin's Creed.
So
it's kind of what the first one was, but with robot dinosaurs. But it was stealth combat, towers unlock the map.
Yeah. I mean, you can mix it up.
That game structure that was really popular,
right,
for a few years there.
For sure,
that everything was doing.
Yeah, the gameplay looked great. I mean, yes, I agree. Like, we didn't need to see more, and I felt that was a lot of the Game Awards this year was like stuff we had already seen. But yeah, Horizon definitely has me stoked. That trailer showing off the new robots that we're going to be going against and the different environments, and then I think also in that trailer, but other footage they've released of like combat and the abilities you're going to have, just like, ooh, this looks pretty and fun, and I'm excited. So
yeah, there was a Dune game that was announced.
Oh yeah,
obviously the the movie came out, or the first part of the movie.
Right.
What should have been like the first half hour of the movie that was stretched out into like 2.5 hours. Speaking of ridiculous movie things, I just found out there's a like 5-hour version of the Hateful Eight.
Oh.
On Netflix.
Huh. Okay.
They split it up into episodes. It's ridiculous. But yeah, like I enjoyed that movie. I liked the Dune books. I liked Sting in the original movie and Kyle MacLachlan, and that's about it. There was a 2004, 2003 sci-fi miniseries that I enjoyed. I don't know that they've ever made a good Dune video game though, and it seems like I'm trying to remember the actual trailer for it. It was like Dune Spice Wars or something like that. Mm-hmm. And my brain completely blanked it out, which I feel like is not a good sign.
Yeah, I feel like that happens too. Like, there's so much that's thrown at us. It's like, wait, what was... Like, I have a list right now of what was announced, and still, I'm like, I don't remember that one.
Yep. Yeah, I have it too. I'm going through it, and it's like, they announced that. What?
Yeah.
There's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game?
I think that was pre-show, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I missed some of the pre-show.
Yeah,
There was a lot that there was more stuff I was hoping we would see more on that I didn't. I wanted something on the Evil Dead game.
Oh, okay.
I spent a lot of time this summer after my grandpa died just like watching nothing but like horror stuff. And so I like rewatched the Evil Dead trilogy and the TV show somewhat obsessively. And I'm really excited about that game because it's the characters are all a lot of fun, and it's your kind of I don't know how you would categorize a Dead by Daylight kind of game.
Ooh,
like it's sort of an arena.
Yeah,
it's like a hunter arena.
Right.
Kind of game.
Yeah, that imbalanced team.
Yeah. Like asymmetrical multiplayer.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep. Which can be really fun when it's done right.
Right.
And I really hope they're going to do that. If you do it wrong, you get that Prey game that came out on the Xbox One.
You shitting on Evolve? Don't shit on Evolve.
Yeah, Evolve. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
I loved Evolve, but I know I didn't do great.
I know it looked fun, but it also looked like, okay, you have to have like the right 5 other people, and you have to hope their interest doesn't fall off really quick.
Right, which that community did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what else I was hoping for. Metroid Prime 4 I wanted to see. I know we just got Dread. I know a lot of people seem to love it. I did not enjoy the remake of Metroid Prime 2.
Okay.
The team that made Dread was the same team that made Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate, which I played, and that was not a great 2D action platformer. So I had concerns about that. I think if you're gonna make a 2D game, you should just do it with pixel art, because like 2.5D just looks weird, and we're at the point technology-wise, where you can make gorgeous pixel art 2D games, and it just looks weird with the 2.5. Okay. I think they should have done that, but whatever. I wanted to see Metroid Prime 4 really badly, especially since they've been teasing us with it for 4 years now.
Something like that. Now, as
a non, done and they're like, we're starting over.
As a non-Metroid fan, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Dread was Prime 4, or the equivalent.
I believe I remember you saying that.
I was like, wait a minute.
And I was just like, no.
Oops. Well, okay, then that's cool that you kind of got a shadow drop Metroid just out of nowhere, as far as
and I mean, I'm sure when I play it, I'll end up enjoying parts of it. I don't know. There are technical aspects of it that
Fair.
I question, which is kind of where I am these days with games. If I actually end up playing something, it's usually something that I'm like, I only have a limited amount of time. I know I'm going to enjoy at least some of this, so my complaints don't end up being like, this is a bad game, so much as why didn't they just do this? Which is, I think it's just part of getting older. So. And apparently I've reached the age where you say things like that. So
okay.
We were talking about the Game Awards.
Let's see.
What about you?
So, circling back, you mentioned the Wonder Woman game, And earlier with Alan Wake, you mentioned like the moment you're like you give it a few seconds, and you're like, oh my god, I know what this is. I had that with the Wonder Woman game, and then I got crushed immediately.
Was it as soon as they showed the boot?
No, okay, it was the boot and the WB Games logo. Those were my like moment, because for those of you guys who don't know,
I recognize that. I think they used that in the trailer for the original movie.
For those of you guys who don't know, I'm a big NetherRealm fan. I've been enjoying the Mortal Kombats, and I've been looking forward to Injustice 3. So as soon as I saw the boot and the WB, I was like, oh shit, it's happening, yes! And then we got the Wonder Woman title, and I was like,
out from under you, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure it'll be great, but I just sunk right back into my chair.
Aside from Spider-Man, has there been, in recent memory, a truly good single-player superhero game based on an existing major property? Like, when I try and think of stuff like that, like there was a Wolverine game that came out for PS3 that I never played, and nobody I know ever played. From what I've heard, it was pretty okay, and there's a lost Easter egg in it.
Oh, okay.
That's all I know about that game. But like I don't know of any single player ones that are.
Well, we got the Batmans, if we're counting those. Which,
okay.
And then
the Arkham series, but that stands off on its own.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Like, it's Arkham.
I know you've talked about.
I have a feeling Arkham Knights is gonna.
Oh, Gotham Knights. Yeah, that's gonna be. We'll see. I know you've talked about like mixed feelings about it, just because like you have your Guardians, but I've heard great things about Guardians, and I'm looking forward to playing it.
I have too. Again, yeah. My thing for that is like, you guys spent the money to make the game, but you're too cheap to get the actual likeness right. So I'm gonna have this brain disconnect the entire time because it's a comic book that's been around forever, but like the faces and voices from the movies are so clearly what is like that's the I don't know how you would do it. Like my brain keeps trying to go like that's the Mount Rushmore of this. Like that's what's cemented in public mind.
Okay.
You know? Like it's why doesn't it look like Chris Pratt? Why is Chris Pratt Mario? He should be in this game. You put him in the wrong game. Somebody spent the wrong money in the wrong spot.
Well, I mean, I'm sure those actors, that's a pretty penny, but yeah, I've heard good things. And
I actually don't know anybody who's in it. I can't think of any of the voice actors.
No, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I've listened to, shout out to the Trophy Room, that podcast, and yeah, they say great things about it, and they say some of the cast even rivals like the performances of the actor. So it's like, all right. And I remember,
I mean, if they put in their like, you know, if everyone who worked on it cared about it, I'm sure it's a lot of fun. I just like after what was it, Ultimate Alliance 3?
Yes, the Switch one.
And then the Avengers game. Like I'm just over the ensemble cast superhero game where everyone gets a chapter or whatever.
Okay, fair enough.
Like I just had some bad experiences, you know, bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, Marvel games have been very hit and miss over this past block. I mean, Insomniac was probably the breakthrough moment, obviously, with Spider-Man, and then we got, you know, Spider-Man 2
the
eventually.
Lego games, however, all the Marvel Lego games.
Oh, yeah, because was it TT games or whatever it is? They crush it.
Yep.
Simple fun. Break some stuff. But,
exactly.
So, yeah, I would say Wonder Woman got me excited, but then pulled the rug out from under me. There was one, I only caught a little bit of the pre-show, but there was one that caught my attention. It was, it's like a 2D, beat 'em up, but also like a, kind of like Hades, but it's called Have a Nice Death. It's a little Grim Reaper dude. That looked pretty fun. So I'm excited for that one.
Cool. Yep. I think I compared that like, it's kind of a Dead Cells-esque.
Yeah. I think it's actually the same developer, if I'm not mistaken, but
yeah, it's like, it looks like you know it's got that like looking at it like okay this could be a beat 'em up, this could be a Metroidvania. This it's the Hollow Knight style.
Yep.
Where it's exploring in platforms and combat, and yeah those those kind of games are seeing a resurgence in recent years, and I like that. I like tough artistic side scrollers like that where it's like it's like a Souls game, but it's 2D, so it really forces you. It like takes me back to playing terribly designed NES games where the difficulty is scaled horribly.
Mm-hmm.
The hitboxes are either non-existent or so existent they actually encompass outside of the game, and you're just like, bullshit.
Yep.
It's definitely something. It's like, okay, I'm part of me is going to hate this, but also it's it brings me back. So
nice. What'd you think about Game of the Year? Like that award going to It Takes Two.
I was really surprised.
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to go to Resident Evil Village.
Really? Interesting.
Like I really thought, well, because Village was such a big thing in the lead up, all of the Lady D stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, all of the Lady D stuff online. Oh, so much of it. And it was a really good game.
For sure.
I mean, I haven't played it. From what I understand and what I've seen and what I've talked to. Everybody enjoyed it, Definitely, I would say one of the biggest games of the year.
Yeah.
Especially on that list that they had for that. I totally think It Takes Two and that team deserve that, though. I can't think of the guy they have for that. Oh. Every time he shows up on the Game Awards, though, he is just 1,008% energy level.
Right.
He's the most excited person there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has what are they, I want to say Icelandic, but I don't think that's it. Whatever the northern, like, Scandinavian, Norse, European area, he's like the excited Japanese schoolgirl version
equivalent,
of that.
Yeah.
He's just so happy and excited to be talking about this thing and have somebody looking and listening.
Mm-hmm.
And they put a lot of work into their games. And I feel like It Takes Two, like, there was, in the lead up to it, there was a lot of interest. And then when it came out, you didn't see much of it. I didn't hear a ton of stuff about it after it came out. I didn't see a lot of people playing it necessarily. Because I think it came out right after Balan Wonderland, and I heard way more people complaining about that than anybody even talking about It Takes Two. And then it kind of started to build back up.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did not think that a 2-player co-op was gonna win.
Right.
But I love that because that's showing that people are, like, starting to. Obviously, not everybody did this, but couch co-op is starting to come back.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, which might be a result of the pandemic.
True.
People just sitting together and playing a game versus everybody being tired of talking through a microphone.
Yeah.
They always put a lot of work into their games. You would know this if you played A Way Out.
Soon.
And that game touches on some heavy shit, too.
Yeah, I've heard that, and it intrigues me.
Yeah, they present it. It's one of those games, like, if I could get Sarah to not fall asleep at, like, 7:30, I'd have her on stream to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting game, and I don't think there's ever been a game of the year in any media publication or anything like that that's been, like, it's a 2-player co-op game about toys and divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really cool, and I was really happy for them.
Nice.